Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we're following suit with the trends and talking about the new Choir of One exotic auto rifle. But where most people are damage testing it and giving you the breakdown of what it can do, I want to look at its true practical uses inside of our loadouts. So in this video, we'll be looking at what weapons pair best with this auto, how to play with it across the in-game, and what else we can do to optimize it. Starting with a brief overview of the exotic, it is of course craftable, meaning you have the upgradable frame, all the customizable minor traits, and the exotic catalysts, which are just perks. The main exotic trait, command frame, reads fires extended range heavy caliber projectiles at a reduced rate of fire. Deals increased precision damage when aiming down sights. And then its secondary exotic trait is Fanatical Lance, which reads rapid final blows cause targets to explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid. Hip firing launches multiple projectiles at once in a slower moving spread pattern. Projectiles detonate on impact. So again, I don't think I need to stay here for too long. You've probably already used this weapon. When you ADS, you have a normal auto rifle mode that shoots high damage special ammo rounds. Then when you're hip firing, you have the wyvern shots that we all love to get hit by. And of course, as a special weapon, this gun does pretty high damage. When you're ADS'd, it's somewhere near a rocket sidearm, or at least it kind of feels like that, maybe a little better. And then when you're hip firing, you can actually chunk things. My friend Llama did a video showcasing a one phase against Greg, which is pretty crazy. But really, the best way to explain how this exotic auto rifle feels is a lot like our other exotic auto rifle that kind of isn't an auto rifle, being Vex Mythoclast. That is a very versatile weapon where you've got your auto rifle mode, and then you have the linear fusion for taking out big healthy targets. Choir of One here just does that where all you need to do to take out big healthy targets is hip fire. Granted, of course, it's at the cost of special ammo, but Choir of One seems quite a lot better than the current Vex Mythoclast. But really, that is the crux of this weapon, its versatility. But that's the overview of Choir of One done. By itself, the weapon is just fantastic. You got a way to deal with trash ads and a way to deal with the big guys. To me, it feels very similar to how we use rocket sidearms. And because of that, when looking for what weapon loadout to fit this into, my immediate thought was to run this in a double special setup with the Call. Similar to the Outbreak plus Indebted Kindness loadout that I'd covered last week, I figured this loadout would work because these weapons are great on their own, which means they'd work well together. But what I found was that ammo becomes an issue, and I was just relying on Choir of One for everything. When a single weapon can be so versatile, it actually conflicts with the idea of these loadouts that I'm covering. You don't need to pair it with a weapon that can kill something from range, or a weapon to deal with ad clear versus elites. Choir of One already does those things. So the question arises, what should we pair with this exotic? And there are a couple of good options that I found in my playtime. The most notable is to simply use whatever weapons allow you to stun champions. Choir of One has Overload unlock thanks to Overload auto rifle, so you're likely going to be running a barrier or unstoppable weapon, which this will limit you to pulses, snipers, sidearms, and scouts. So you're gonna run whatever you want there, but I'd particularly make use of any of these that have shoot to loot on them. Don't get it mistaken, 90% of your playtime will be with Choir of One. It's just that good. But our kinetic weapon pretty much exists to only stun champs. But if you've got shoot to loot, it can support Choir of One by picking up ammo and giving a reload, which that'll give it a good amount of extra value. Also, if you run prismatic, try to use either a strand or stasis weapon, since Choir of One will not be filling that dark meter. And then where heavy weapons are considered, there are two routes you can take to make sure you don't conflict with Choir. You'll either run a machine gun or a rocket/GL. I would run a machine gun if you'd like to spam the hip fire on anything and everything, and then I'd run a rocket/GL if you're good at actually managing your special ammo. That's really just going to be on a case-by-case situation, but for most cases, running that super high damage weapon is going to be your best bet so that you can just annihilate any champs or bosses that you come across. So, grand scheme, loadout wise, Choir of One carries whatever it's with. So let's now look at what else we should be running to optimize it. The easiest thing here comes in the form of artifact mods. I'm sure you saw where this was going. Outside of Overload Auto Rifle, we have Sustained Fire, which offers a 40% damage resist for simply dealing damage with the weapon. So that's a massive level of survivability that we can just passively have almost all of the time. Also, not to mention that can be paired with Galvanic Armor, which means you've got 2 sources of DR coming passively. And then the other new artifact mod is, of course, Targeting Autoloader, which not only refills your weapon, but gives you a 20% damage buff at max stacks. Again, Choir of One already does really good damage, but if it's doing 20% more, you're going to be absolutely chunking targets and cutting through every ad. And then the rest of optimizing this exotic looks like running a few exotic armor pieces. My Warlocks can run in Nezarec Sin, or Getaway Artist. Titans can get a little silly with Actium War Rig, and then Hunters can make use of Gerfalcons with the exotic itself, or even on Relativism. I wouldn't really liken any of these to an in-depth build, but more so a way to have some interaction between Choir of One and whatever exotic armor piece you're running. Loadouts and builds do not get too complex with this new exotic. Choir of One is potent enough on its own that most things take the supplementary role, and that's pretty cool. A lot cooler than Wishkeeper and our last exotic mission. And I think that's it. If you found a particular synergy or a weapon pairing that you really like, let me know down in the comments below. I, of course, don't have too much time with this weapon. It just came out a couple days ago, and I'm sure there's some stuff that we haven't found yet. So if you have anything that you want to share with me and the other viewers, please let us know. If it's cool enough, I might even make a follow-up video. But I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this late into the video. Your viewership really means a lot to me. I'm on the road to 10,000 subscribers now. Can't wait to hit that with all of y'all. If you want to support me and support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription goes a long way. And if you want to support me and support the channel, but you can't, think of a comment down below, Choir of One. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.
Hopefully it didn't spawn on the wall.
Okay.
Okay. A rocket. Clip farmer.
Sick.
Holy shit, Shadow Price.
That's fun. That was super chill for 2 people.
That's actually crazy.